They're working on signing Mbeumo from Brentford. Carve, was the first bid for Mbeumo always going to be rejected?
Well, I think that's the way transfers work, isn't it? When Manchester United get a clear indication that a player wants to come to United and they decide to get in touch with his club and have initial discussions, they obviously have an idea from representatives about how much it will cost to sign the player, and they're not going to go in with a high offer. They will try and be sensible. You don't want to make ridiculous lowball offers. And I think the offer they've made is, £43 million plus potential going up to £53 million. I think our information here from our news desk was that Brentford value him at around £60 million.
So it's not far off, is it?
Not far off. And the window's only just opened. So I think the crucial thing here is we're seeing this in a lot of transfers. What do the players want to do? Florian Wirtz wants to go to Liverpool. Milos Kerkez wants to go to Liverpool. Ait Nouri wants to go to Manchester City. Reinders wants to go to Manchester City. Mbeumo wants to go to Manchester United. So I think it will happen, but it will take time. And United are not in a rush. The window's open for another 2.5 months. The season's only just finished. Good to see United, though, not wasting time. Last season was unacceptable. Big changes have to be made. Players are going to come in. Players are going to go out. Good to see if you're a United fan.
I need you to explain something to me, though. They've got Cunha through the door. They're after Mbeumo. They're linked with Gyokeres. How can a club that we were told were going to go bust by Christmas afford all these players?
I don't think anyone said they were going to go bust.
That's what Radcliffe said. Without his money, they were going to go bust by Christmas.
I think he said we're going to run out of cash, or I would take, with all due respect, he knows more about business and he knows more about Manchester United than I do. But Manchester United are a very, very rich club. They're one of the richest clubs in the world. They're a massive cash-generating machine. OK, they've fallen on hard times. OK, they've made some big mistakes in the transfer market and the kind of wages they've been paying players. But there's a fantastic blogger, Swiss Ramble. You can go to his website. He's got analysis of accounts of clubs all over the world. If you've got time, read his analysis of Manchester United's
so rich,
accounts.
Why are they making all these savings of people who work at the club, though?
I know. 450 people have lost their jobs.
That doesn't smack like a very, very rich club to me.
Meanwhile, players who are out of favour are getting paid fortunes. I understand all that. But the football business is a strange business. Manchester United are still very rich. Yes, they've got PSR concerns, FFP concerns as well. But I think they can balance the books. I think Ineos and the Glazers have a plan to change things around at Manchester United. But a lot of players will be leaving as well. I think it's smart business to buy players first and then deal with moving players out.
Players leaving. Is that Anthony?
Yeah, obviously one to keep an eye on over the course of this summer. We know that he went on loan to Real Betis, had a successful loan spell, got to the Europa Conference League final, looked like he was enjoying his football, looked like he was happy on and off the pitch as well. The key thing with regards to any potential departure of Anthony from Manchester United would depend, certainly to Bayer Leverkusen, would depend on the Florian Wirtz situation to Liverpool, because we know that if they lose someone like Florian Wirtz, they're going to look for that creative player that can play out wide or as a 10, and that's what Anthony can do. And if it were to happen, it would be the third time that Erik ten Hag has signed Anthony, first at Ajax, then at Manchester United, and then potentially again at Bayer Leverkusen. The only stumbling block is that Manchester United invested £86 million in signing Anthony, and whilst they're going to get absolutely nowhere near that kind of level of cash, they'll be looking to try and maximise any potential return so that that overall loss is not as big as it's likely to be. So, yeah, one to keep an eye on, but that's heavily dependent on Wirtz going to Liverpool.
Carver, let's talk Manchester United. Mbeumo, we've been talking about him. What's the latest?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge summer, isn't it, for Manchester United? We know there's a lot of attention and pressure under Ruben Amorim as he looks to reshape this Manchester United squad under his DNA, and this man is without question going to be a big part of it. But Manchester United have got to get to the price that Brentford want. We know that their first offer has been rejected. That was £45 million plus 10 million in add-ons. Our information is that Brentford are looking for £60 million upward. This is a man that's almost guaranteed goals for Brentford. He's their top Premier League goal scorer, which is some achievement in itself, more than Ivan Toney, because everyone thinks about Brentford and goals and they think of Ivan Toney. This man has been a consistent presence throughout the last 5-6 years since he joined in 2019. He's formed really good partnerships. He cost Brentford just £4 million from Troyes. He was scouted, watched, looked at by Lee Dykes and Phil Giles, who have done an incredible job, and now they're looking to sell him for £60+ million. So first offer rejected. However, we know that Manchester United are super keen on Bryan Mbeumo, so it's expected there will be a second offer at some stage soon.
OK, so they want him. Are forwards the priority for United, Carve?
I think they are. Scoring goals was a major problem for United last season. They're moving quickly to address that glaring weakness. We've already seen them complete a deal for Matheus Cunha. I think Bryan Mbeumo has basically let everyone know that he wants to move to Manchester United as well. So I think there's a good chance that this deal will be done pretty quickly. Also, there's a possibility that United may sign another forward as well. There have been lots of reports today that they may go in for Viktor Gyokeres at Sporting. Now, he's somebody who, of course, has worked with Ruben Amorim. Amorim knows him well. I'm sure there are lines of communication that are open between him and Viktor Gyokeres and his representatives. The big question is, would Viktor Gyokeres be willing to move to Manchester United when they're not in Europe? He's going to have options of playing for Champions League clubs. He could even stay at Sporting and play in the Champions League as well. But I still think United have got a big pull. And what we're seeing this summer from Manchester United is they are not just going to take what's happened to them lying down. They're coming out fighting. I think they will spend big in the transfer window this summer. Of course, they will have to balance their books because of PSR, but I think we're going to see some real statements of intent from Manchester United because they want to get back and challenge quickly.
Yeah, balance books. Hold on. It wasn't that long ago we were being told, oof, without Ratcliffe's money, we're going to go bust before Christmas. How can they afford this, Mark?
Well, quite simply because they're
Manchester United.
They're Manchester United. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. They turn over a huge sum of money and they will try and trade and recycle cash. And that's what a lot of clubs are doing. How can we raise funds to spend money here, but we need to get some money in? Number of players I could chuck at you, Mike, that will be on the top of the list for Manchester United with regards to exits. Marcus Rashford. We know that the clause for Aston Villa to trigger was £40 million, so they'll be saying he's had a really good, solid second half of the campaign, played Champions League football. We know that there are suitors there. Wages may be a problem.
But that's complex, isn't it? It's not
complex.
Easy to get him out.
But if there is someone that can come to the table at Old Trafford and say, we want Marcus Rashford and we're willing to pay £30-40 million, that will be offsettable 100% with regards to PSR because he's a homegrown academy product. So therefore, those are the ones that tick boxes. The same with Alejandro Garnacho, the same with Jadon Sancho. We know that there are players there potentially that could raise upwards of £100 million.
Okay.
Obviously, United need someone to knock on the door and say, we want to buy these players, and right now that's where the problem lies.
I'm guessing Anthony is another one who could head out, and there's news that he might go back to a former manager.
Yeah, again, we talk in windows about the domino effect, and this is very much something that could be triggered by Florian Wirtz leaving Bayer Leverkusen, going to Liverpool, and we understand that the replacement for Wirtz at Leverkusen would be this man, Anthony. He cost Manchester United in 2022 £86 million. Huge investment. Safe to say it hasn't quite worked out yet at Old Trafford. But could he potentially link up with someone he knows very well? Erik ten Hag, the new Bayer Leverkusen boss. He's already signed him once for Ajax, signed him twice at Manchester United. Could he sign him a third time at Bayer Leverkusen? Now, this is one to keep an eye on because we know that potentially there could be some big investment there that Manchester United could recoup back. But the important thing to point out with regards to these kind of finances, and that's your initial question, is that it's not always cut and dry. Manchester United paid £86 million for him, but there will be wages, bonuses, agency fees on top of that. And ultimately, the profit they'll make, or the profit they'll have to play with regards to signing new players, is what's called the book price. Now, his book price will be not 86 because he's been there for some time, but it might not be as low as people think. So they may sell him for 50 million, just for argument's sake. Doesn't mean that they've got 50 million to spend. It depends on what his book price is. So yeah, one to keep an eye on, definite interest from buyer Labour.
Manchester United have made a first formal approach for Bryan Mbeumo but have seen their bid rebuffed by Brentford. United are understood to have offered in the region of £45 million for the Cameroonian international, with a further £10 million in performance-related add-ons, but Brentford are holding out for more than £60 million. Mbeumo has only a year left on his contract, which gives United some leverage as they look to prize away the 25-year-old, who scored 20 goals and made 7 assists in the Premier League last season. But Brentford consider Mbeumo a key player and are prepared to trigger an option in his contract which would extend his stay at the GTEC Community Stadium by a further 12 months in order to keep him. Manager Thomas Frank said last month that Mbeumo's sale was possible but that he would be expensive for potential suitors, who also include Newcastle United. Mbeumo suits United's preference for proven Premier League talent who are yet to reach their peak, following the £62.5 million signing of Matheus Cunha from Wolves. Mbeumo also appeals for his versatility, being able to play across the forward line, and for his outstanding fitness record, having played in all 38 of Brentford's league games in 2 out of the past 3 seasons. With Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho and Antony all expected to leave the club this summer, United need to acquire more attacking options. Mbeumo has the potential to fit into Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 system either as a striker or as one of 2 no-10s in support. United also want to sign a goalkeeper, a wing-back and a midfielder, but first need to offload a raft of players in order to free up headroom within the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules.